Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode here on the Hermitcraft server. I am excited to see what this Sahara project will become. Look at the colossal building that is under construction right here. Grian, Iskau and Mumbo are putting together a competitor for Amazon, I guess you could say. That means competition for all of the shops if they're going to be selling everything, right? Yikes, who knows what the future of this area is? I do, actually. We're going to go around and tidy things like this up real soon. We've got a sale sign over there. We've talked about how these were really sort of like mini pranks and maybe those should go. And anyway, we're all going to get together and hang out together and just go around and tidy this place up the best we can. And that is news to me. What a nice little shop front that is. I wonder who built that. I think you can tell there's a little logo up the top there. But speaking of the renovations, I've been in the spirit for renovating something in this area, and you may recall an episode a while ago where I got the deeds to the plot from Mr. Joe Hills, and me being the derp that I am, I did not really realise what the deeds to the plot meant, and of course it means ownership of the land, the building, the structure. And so I have renovated the old shop, the Halloween shop that was around the corner here. And do you know what? It's not a work of art or anything like that. I've just kind of upgraded the aesthetic a little bit, added in some details, put some sand down on the ground and done some of this right here. You know, putting in the crack, that kind of tells the story of people leaving the shop, and just throwing in some rocks and different textures down here with the sand and expanding the build. Oh yeah, and then there's two of these statues right here. So funny story, I have no idea what we're going to sell in this shop. You know, Joe's closed it down. We need to not only renovate the outside structure, but think of something to sell in here. And then it kind of hit me, you know, I was in the mood for building some statues. I really like it when I see these things in Minecraft, and I wanted to put a couple on the roof because the roof was kind of flat and I felt like it needed something to draw your attention to. And this is a very good vantage point, not a place where people usually come and stand, but you can see we've got this one over here that's got a robe across its arms, and the other one's holding a staff and a torch. It looks kind of cool. And then it hit me, if you are subscribed to my second channel, okay, you would have seen a video just the other day about the Armour stand customizing book that we have here on Hermitcraft that many of the hermits have taken great advantage of, and it getting a new update with new features, and I need to install that on the server, and I need to do that today in this episode. And I was standing here and I was like, statues, Armour stands are kind of like statues. And then it hit me, we should make it so this is the place to come and get your book from. Now we already have a giant Armour stand under the ocean, but I think it would be cool to renovate the inside as well. I actually haven't stepped inside of here the entire time I've been building it, and I've immediately fallen into one of Joe's dastardly traps. Oh, that is just typical. I feel like this crazy organic building style that Joe has, where he just puts the blocks wherever his heart's desire, that should totally stay. And so somewhere up in this top area, we're going to create a new room with access to this old one, probably in this small space right here where you can walk in and grab your armor stand and then leave out the other side. That sounds like a reasonable thing. So we're going to put that on the server today, and it's going to have a new feature in it that I will show you as well. And if you go to the second channel, watch that video for all the instructions and download the pack, it will have this new feature for you as well. Okay, now let's try and fly. How many rockets will we use? Quite a few, but we're up in the air, and we're actually flying over an area where we're going to start a new project today. And I cannot tell you yet how excited I am for this project. An idea came to mind, one that I was really passionate about, and I thought, who could I work with on this? And I realised the people to work with were Scar and Cub, and they just so happened to have an idea themselves that was kind of similar to mine, and so we are going to join forces and create something in this area right here. You see where the river comes through the pirate district up to the station? We're pretty much going to claim all of this land right here where the rail runs through, and we're going to be building some buildings and creating a really amazing part of the server. Now as I fly down here, I've actually come over to do a little bit of a job. You'll see that I've got some empty maps on me, and that's because I want to copy this Concord map right here. Cub did this earlier in the day. He put down some markers for a work site. There's probably another one just over there somewhere, and this is probably going to be the size of one of the buildings, but we're going to build many buildings over here, and I want to make it really clear that we're claiming the whole area. So I'm going to be copying this, and in my preparations I completely forgot to get myself some item frames. Why did that not do all of them? I guess, yeah, it takes the map out. Right. There we go. Awesome. So I'm going to put one back, and now we can put a few more of these down in the area. So just going to want to highlight for any other hermits coming over here, just in case someone has some plans, because no one else has built in this area yet, and I want to make sure that we can claim it all. By the way, my friends, this is episode 799, and you might be expecting a special episode next, with it being 800? 100? But I am unfortunately going to have to say that it is extremely unlikely that something will come up in the coming days that will turn that into a special episode, you know? Takes a lot of effort and planning and time to do some of the specials I've done in the past, and without the inspiration for one, it's really not something I want to force. So 800 is probably just going to be a normal episode. And now that we've tidied up our items, you'll see that there is iron bars down the coastline here. This surrounds the entire area, so wherever you approach it from, you're pretty much going to see these iron bars and eventually the Corp sign. So it should be really obvious that we're taking over this spot and going to do something here. And you'll also notice that I've chopped down all of the trees so we can get a better view of this spot and understand the landscape that we're working with. This project, my friends, is going to be awesome, and you're going to learn all about it later on in this episode. Well, the renovation was a fantastic idea. This just looks so fitting now, having these armor stands out the front and the side like this. Over here I used a couple of the hermit heads, and walking onto the inside we'll be able to pick up a book with the shrine that I put in there. Now I've had a limited amount of space and block options in this area because it's quite crammed, but I've gone with the coal blocks on the outside, made the room entirely dark, and then we've got this mystic shrine right here in the middle. I think those green particles are a little bit much. That's what they've been set to at the moment. I'm probably going to get this to be changed. So when you download it from xisumavoid.com/vanilla-tweaks, it'll probably be something more subtle, similar to the lightning shrine one that we have, because this is quite evasive. So anyway, I already have a book in my inventory. If I hold it like this, it's no longer in my inventory, and you can see that the shrine will actually detect to see if you've got a book already, so you don't get spammed with it. But I was holding the V2 book, now we've got the V2.3 book. And over to the side here as well, this is actually a little opening, and you can go down to the original shop, which is superb. So anyway, those green particles are subject to change, and now we have access to the new book full of the new features. If you want to learn about these, go subscribe to the second channel. I'll put a link to that video in the description box below. I wanted to do a before and after shot of this, but I completely forgot to record. So we're on a backup of the world, and this is what it used to look like before. I figured I'd like to know what you think of my renovation. I know it's not a work of art, but I'll put a card on the screen, and we'll do like a 1 to 5 if you want to rate it. So top right of the screen will be that. If you're now puzzled as to where Iscal's station has gone, this is actually like a month-old backup of the world. I have just discovered that the backup system for Hermitcraft has stopped working. That means it's time for me to go into administration mode and sort this thing out. So have no fears, the backup situation has been fixed. I'm very glad that I spotted that. And what you're staring at right now is the mock-up of the blood moon that me and Impulse put together. And as you can see, we're actually in the overworld. And so this thing looks so much brighter, and you get much more of a moon effect. I love how you see that dark patch in the middle. But unfortunately, it's not the same on the actual Hermitcraft server. The red gloomy fog really does take away from the texture that you would have seen up there. I mean, it all kind of disappears, to be fair, and that gets made even worse on a YouTube video. I can kind of see it right now, but with compression and whatnot, it kind of disappears. But many of you put down a fantastic suggestion. So as always, I thank you for interacting with me via the comments. I do like to read them and get feedback, and it's such a brilliant idea. We can actually put lighting in the very top of the blood moon. So up here at the top of the blood moon, we have a block that can be replaced with another one with the same texture that can let light through. Now there's two circumstances where we can use this: when there are blocks surrounding on all other sides, like this one here, and then when there is a block on top. What we can replace that with is carpet, and carpet lets light through. So now there will be light emitting from the center. Wow, that is really quite bright. Let's quickly pop down before we do too much more of this. And from down below, you can kind of see it, but this makes me realize that the grey color at the top is kind of lost in that red atmosphere of the nether. It might be a good idea for us to remove some of this red glass to make it more visible. You can definitely see it's lighter, but it's probably not going to make the biggest of differences. Okay, let's wrap this one up. I don't think removing another layer of glass is really going to expose the texture too much. There is a bit more detail coming through, at least for me now. I hope that is visible on the YouTube video, but the difference between doing that in the overworld and the nether is quite different. Yeah, anyway, we're not going to mention this anymore. Let's crack on with new projects. That one has been wrapped up and finished.
An idea to kind of rebuild our image on the server. You know, people look at us as these
Hello.
rich.
Whoa, there's that Yeti going by. Whoa.
Oh,
Hey.
somebody shoot that Yeti down.
Fancy seeing you guys here in this
What an
area.
unexpected coincidence. Man. Who
It's
would've
X
thought?
Yeti. Hi, X Yeti.
Hello. It's
Oh, we got
Oh shoot.
some people trying to emulate
Oh
you.
my god, we got it coming.
Uh-oh.
What
Okay.
the heck? Jeez. Oh my god, Cub. It's like a mobile AA gun. Just wipe them out. What?
Trying to.
This is impressive.
Woohoo! Got one.
Oh, wow.
Got
That
him.
was nice.
Oh, this is delightful. This is like an air show.
Yeah, this one coming up quick. Oh, look out.
Yeah, he smacked me in the face. What are the two of you up to over here? Scheming on top of this air tower.
Scheming. Those are harsh words, X Yeti.
Yeti. Look, I heard that you guys had some filming needs in mind. Something
Propaganda
along
films.
propaganda. My favorite type of film.
Oh, I love propaganda. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we also got maybe a venture capital sort of investment we need to make in some companies. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, I had a thought the other day. Okay, this server don't have no studio. Okay, we're all video makers, but we don't have a studio for recording in. Is that
Yeah.
just
True.
dastardly
That's
or
very
what?
true.
Peeps, I think we need to do something about this.
I think we should too. We got ideas. We've got the capital. But I have one question, Azuma.
What's
You'd be
that?
teaming up with the Vex, the Corp. And I have to ask you something. Would you, this is kind of a little test to see if you can be affiliated.
Okay.
Which one would you lick and which one would you eat?
I feel like this is a trick question.
No tricks at all. Oh no, they're coming in again.
Okay. This is like an interview. I'm starting to feel a bit tense. I feel like my answer needs to be my weakness is that I work too hard, Scar. Is
Okay,
that the
Michael
right
Scott.
answer?
No, which one would you lick and which one would you eat?
Okay,
Now.
I would lick the cake so that I get all of the frosting, and then I would eat the Vex magic so that I would be imbued with its magical powers.
That's wrong. You will now
What?
be a Vex affiliated person.
Oh.
Not a true Vex. Next time, come again. Okay, now, what's the project? Where are we going here?
Project is a movie studio. Follow me, my
Ah.
friends.
I love movie studios.
Movie
We have
studio.
filming needs, and there is an area, a large area over here, that remains unused by any other hermits. There's this lonely plan for a Hermitcraft rail going through the middle of it, but look around, I think you'll see potential everywhere. I see a lot of potential here. You know?
I do too.
Lot of lakes. A little marshy, when you say.
We can fill them in with potential, I think, you know?
I like it. We're like Walt Disney buying up all the land in Florida. It was all swampland. And we're going to turn it into a magical land. It's going to be amazing.
Sounds like a great idea. You'll notice that I have come in here and reserved the area. There are Corp signs already in place. There are metal bars surrounding the outside area, making sure that no one stumbles in here and doesn't see who it belongs to. I think it belongs to the mobs at the moment. There's a lot of nasty critters over here.
How much do you think a Yeti pelt would go for on the market?
Stop talking about my pelt, okay? You might make me change my skin, right?
Top dollar.
Everyone
Top
wants
dollar,
me to
that's
change my skin. Do you know what I tell them? I tell them this is a Christmas skin. Don't you know Christmas is coming? Goodness me.
They're coming in again.
Oh, watch out.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, you guys are right here. What in the...
Here, get close.
All right, here we go.
Here we
Okay.
go.
Woo! Take to the skies.
Did I get it? Oh, I did. Sweet.
I got it. And
Nice.
now I can just... What happens when I look down? Do I go down faster? No. Okay, I got a really good view of this area now.
Welcome to Slabland. For all of your slab needs, each building contains the finest Hermitcraft slabs. Wood slabs. Cobblestone
Cut by
slabs.
Efo himself.
Goodbye.
Oh, man.
Oh.
So we got a giant layout for this thing.
Yeah, we've made plans, haven't we? We've structured this thing. It's not just going to be one building, like one recording studio. It's gonna be like an MGM Studios, I guess.
Yeah.
So we'll have a
Would that be-
studio in the middle, another smaller studio on the side, some trailers, some entrances. It's gonna be nice.
I haven't used these slow falling potions that much. Oh, hi.
Coming in for a landing.
Now, quick question, Azuma. Can the commissary back in the back there, the cafe, can it be exclusively a cake cafe?
I don't see why not. And
Sounds good to me.
Good
these
idea.
these
good
horrible fart bubbles are just fading off of us at the perfect time here. Except for Cub. I think you got the most of the splash. Cub, you kind of smell.
Idea. Oh
a bit
yeah,
funny.
I got another 2 minutes. 2 minutes left.
Oh dear.
He's
I'm
at
gonna,
no 2
Fair
I'm
minutes.
gonna stand over here.
Man,
Yeah, this is just
So this will be the
rancid cake.
entrance, right? This is going to be our MGM entrance. It makes sense it being here. So
Mhm.
we have an area reserved for that. People coming into the studio be able to walk through. And I don't have the plan on my screen. What's this one? I've forgotten already.
this
Ah.
is the offices. The offices of the management, the upper management.
Yeah, that's right. You know, studios, they got to hire producers, they got to organize camera people and actors. They're going to need some offices to do that from, making calls. And then the other side of that, I guess, the path will probably come through that area and join up with this. So on our right-hand side here, we're going to have two major big studios, Studio A and B, tons of recording space.
Major big sounds good. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is Hermitcraft. There's got to be big scale.
Yeah. Now, what do we got over here? What's the stone? What are these things right here?
I believe this is trailers. Like, this is where the actors stay, right? They haven't
So
got a
where the
lot of
stars-
space, but
Stars stay. Yeah.
yeah, the stars. That's
So this is
their
where we
spot.
can demand things. Like we demand a latte right now. I can't even without my latte. Oh my god, I want my latte. Okay, so that's where that goes.
Can't
Okay.
act without your latte. It's not possible.
Yep.
Then we've got our third studio over here. This is where the cobblestone slabs are.
Vex
So-
tank. Dun dun dun.
All of this is going to
Vex
come...
tank?
What was that? Vex
Okay.
tank? That sounds like some sort of exclusive preview right there.
Oh, it might be.
Get
Maybe, Izuma, if you pitch us a good idea, you might be entitled to an entire stack of diamonds, or your
Ooh.
fate, your fate will be met with the vexes. You never know. Who knows?
Okay, well, I will...
Cub is still farting over there.
Yeah. Oh,
Hey!
now we're farting. Great. Cheers. Thanks. Yeah, it's pretty obvious what the concept is, right? We got cafes are going to go like the more leisurely area where you get your latte is over here. On the opposite side, we're going to have a classic water tower. Why do all the studios have water towers, Scar?
I don't know, but I do know it's competition amongst them to see who can make the best water tower. And if I'm not mistaken, Disney holds the record. That water tower is like 70 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
You know, Walt Disney actually allocated extra money just to have the best water tower. Okay, I'm going off of Disney right now. I'm sorry.
It's quite all right. So we've established a layout. I think the next thing we need to do is start putting together a build palette. So my friends, it's just me now, and me, Cub, and Scar were hanging out for quite some time together, talking about the project and all our inspiration ideas. And when it came to getting the build palette together, we've kind of got a couple of ideas going for the paths and maybe some of the other buildings, but we figured out what the look of the studios are going to be. And these are going to be big industrial style warehouses. And so I'm going to give you a little taster of what this might look like. And immediately as I start building here, I realize I don't know what on earth I'm doing, basically. But we're going to use some plain colors like so. And then they're going to pop out with some extra blocks over here at the front. So these blocks are in the incorrect position. But it's also going to be on a larger scale as well, so don't take what you see as the exact thing that we're building. But something like that will work, and down the front here I don't think we're going to have gravel to fill in the spots between this and the bricks. So as a little mock-up, it'll be something like that, spanning the distance to the path. That gives you space to put other things in this area, and we'll probably change up the texture as well and throw in some andesite. But then these walls right here are actually going to be really quite big. And using the spaces in between, which are going to be larger than this, we're going to put in some lettering to say Studio 1 or something along those lines. And this is also going to have different color themes as well. So those letters will be written with one of a couple of colors. And on each of the different builds that we're going to do, we're going to pair colors together. So on this one over here, you'll see lime and green. And there'll be a trim of this color all the way up at the roof. And then we'll use the other color to letter out that it's the studio. And also featured in this build, there's going to be a roof made out of slabs like this. So it's going to have a kind of industrial vibe. Basically, I've put together a whole bunch of features, and when I build them on the correct scale, they're going to look really good. So another one of those features is to use iron bars as like an industrial grid holding together the part of this build just below where the roof is. There'll also be some iron blocks as well. I'll be able to work that in. And then for lighting, what we're going to do near to the front is have these stone slabs. So they will come off the front like this. And then we'll have an end rod up top and an end rod below, and that'll be much higher. That the scale of this thing is going to be really big, but that's the build palette that we're going to be using. It is made of concrete, so you might suspect that I will be harvesting some gravel and sand, and you'll be right. In between this episode and the next, I'm going to have to do some grinding, and of course the next one is 800. I'm hoping that I can put a lot of time and effort into the studio and maybe even complete one of them, and then that would be a cool way to celebrate 800 episodes, right? Anyway, this is the end of it. If you have enjoyed this one, then leave a like. As always, thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you soon with the 800th episode of Hermitcraft. It's time to get excited, peeps. But that's it. So ciao for now. Bye-bye.